Italy's Prime Minister has spoken out over Donald Trump's criticism of Pope Leo. Giorgia Meloni says it's unacceptable for the US president to verbally attack the leader of the world's Catholics. They have been taking to social media to criticize Trump. Pope Leo has condemned Trump's war in Iran, and he says he will continue to speak out against it. Trump called Pope Leo weak and terrible, among other things. And some might urge Trump himself to take a look in the mirror. Seema Gupta is our correspondent in Rome, joining us now live. Seema, good evening to you. Tell us the effect of Trump's insults where you are.
Well, you heard for yourself, as you mentioned, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni making this very rare rebuke of President Trump, saying that the words and his attack on Pope Leo were unacceptable. Now, she has been known to cultivate a close relationship with the US president. Some have even referred to her in the past as the Trump whisperer. However, now we've seen her come up with a very strong statement, and that might have something to do with the fact that she was criticized throughout the day because of an earlier statement that simply expressed support for Pope Leo, about his ministry being useful and helpful in fostering resolution of conflict and a return of peace, but never mentioned anything about Trump. Opposition politicians here in Italy immediately jumped on that, expressing their support of the Pope, but also saying it's funny how Miss Meloni, who described herself during the elections as a mother and as a Christian, has not yet taken a stand. Other politicians also in the opposition saying that for centuries, taking such a blatant act of aggression against the pontiff is something that's not been done for centuries. And now, however, the only advantage is that Trump's come and go, but the Pope remains. So overall here, the political and church leaders expressing their support for the pontiff, and Miss Meloni for herself coming out at the end of the day, making it very clear that those remarks were unacceptable.
Indeed, and as you say, she has become known as the Trump whisperer, so one wonders whether those words that she's come out with will hit hard in the White House. Pope Leo, of course, has the strength of his belief, as well as the backing of over 1 billion Catholics worldwide, and he is vowing to continue to speak out.
Yes, he is. I mean, he said very clearly as he was traveling to Algeria that he has no fear of the US administration and that he will continue to speak out against the war. He said he is not a politician. He is there as the leader of the church and to really talk about the gospel. He even quoted, "Blessed are the peacemakers." So his idea is about peace, and it's in direct confrontation to what, of course, the US president is saying. But the Pope has also said very clearly, I am not here to debate with him on this issue. He will continue his role. It will be interesting to watch what happens throughout his trip to Africa, but also in trips that he's making in the coming weeks and months, particularly on July 4th, the day that the US is expecting to celebrate 250 years of independence, a big celebration being planned by the US president. And what is the first American Pope doing? On July 4th, he will be making a trip to the island of Lampedusa here in Italy, which is known throughout the world, of course, for welcoming migrants who cross the Mediterranean and come to Europe on that island.
Seema Gupta, as always, thank you very much indeed. Pope Leo, a remarkable man, currently in Algeria, and as you say, vowing to keep speaking out against the war in Iran, in spite of anything the US President Donald Trump might have to say about him, good or bad.